Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. Got a little bit to cover here. So first of all, I'm going to get this out of the way. I am not your financial advisor. I am not here to teach you about risk management or how to play options. I just try to make a compelling case what I think is going to happen, and it's up to you to either decide it sounds plausible and you want to play it or not. That's it. In the last couple of videos, I made it very clear why I thought 53,150 looked like a potential temporary top for a drop. So far, that has played out. Now, I will cover Bitcoin and Nvidia. We can go through a few charts. I would like to point out, guys, ad revenue on YouTube is just absolute crap. If I'm lucky, I make maybe $50 on average per video. And actually, all of that money goes back to you guys when I do those silver coin giveaways. And actually, it's a loss. I have one ad at the beginning. I don't put ads in the middle of my videos. Again, I don't want to watch ads. I'm sure you don't either. But that at least pays for the silver coins that I do those coin giveaways. So there's only really two ways you can support me. You can sign up to my website to get access to the live charts and join our Discord through my website. Or you can use one of my affiliate links. Remember, CoinCatch is no KYC. Also support or promote BingX and BitGet. And how this works is I only get commissions on trading fees. So if you put in, if you use $10, if you open a trade and it costs you $10, I get a percentage of that $10. When you close your trade, it costs money, so I get a percentage when you close your trade. That's it. Just on trading fees, I get commissions. Whether you make money or lose money, I do not get a penny of that. That goes to the exchange to pay someone on the other side of the trade. So if you want to support me, that is how you can do it. So let me get on to the TA. Now, this video here I put up 7 days ago. I explained why these three lines were so important and why I thought it was likely we'd get rejected. Yes, the title was being a little sarcastic, but I did say I entered a short from this point. And then the most recent video, I explained why, again, I went short at this point. And that is this video here. I made it very clear. These three lines were going to be very, very strong resistance. And that's why it looked like this would be an idle point too short. Now, obviously, yes, if we get above that point and hold support, we're heading much higher. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. In Discord, I made a post. This was on February 14th. I said, I am in a short. And I said, I'll be adding to my short and showed where my stop loss was and all that. Now, typically, I don't like to tell people when I enter a short. And the reason for this is because I have, and I'm going to show you my analysis going back a ways. My analysis was the same. Stay long before the orange ring. When you cross it, go short. But I have entered trades against my own analysis just because I wanted to gamble and see what happens. Sometimes I'd enter a trade and I'd tell people enter that trade, and then people would follow me blindly, enter a trade and lose money. And on the flip side, sometimes I have trades where I'll enter a short and it'll play out fantastic and we'll be making money, and then I'll decide to take profit early. And then other people take profit because I took profit, and then price continues down, and then they're mad because they said they would have stayed in if I had not got out. So you really can't win. So again, I try not to tell people when I enter a short or take profit. I just like to show what's in the charts and let you decide for yourself. The only reason I said that I entered a short here and also bought puts for Nvidia is because it seemed very, very likely based on the charts we would get a drop. So I at least wanted people to know that I was very confident in this play, and that's why I decided to go short. And this, again, this is February 14th. And the most recent, the last post I made on Discord, and I also mentioned this above before, as I said, waiting for a daily open below before I decide to add to my short, and that was this line here, which now became resistance. So your point to short is 53K. The point to add to your short was when we got below this point, and you can see that's how it played out. We topped out at these three lines that I made very clear in that previous video that was very strong resistance. Now we are below 51,458. If we get above that and hold support, then we're probably headed back up to 53,200 to potentially 54,000. Those are your targets above. Your first most key resistance is 53,268. Your current resistance, 51,458. If we continue down with your next support level to catch a bounce, take note that this is the center of Bollinger Band on the daily. A lot of confluence. You could do a scalp long. If we drop further, well, I know you're going to have very strong support down here to open along around 46,800. But again, I'm saying this is a temporary top. When I say temporary top, I mean, yes, we could have a substantial drop from here. It could chop for a while. But go back and watch why these lines are so important when I was trying to tell you why this is an ideal point to open a short. So far, that has played out. I Don't think I was wrong. I could be wrong. If we push back up, I have my stop loss below my entry. I will lose nothing. I mean, if price pushed up, it would have been nice to be long. But the point is you play one level at a time. I knew this was strong resistance. I went short. And just to make it clear, guys, this is back on 10/21/2023. So be careful shorting here, guys. Take note of the MACD. I was explaining everything, and Mark talked about resistance levels. This is very possible we could push up more. If you're swing trading, take profit often and use a stop loss. I do tell you to practice risk management. It's up to you to figure out how to do that. But I did say my next play will be long the orange ring on contact and short after we cross the ring. That has been my analysis. If you're before this orange ring, that is bullish. So stay long before that point. Anything you're trading, shorting or longing would just be swing trading. You would stay long before this orange ring. When you cross it, you'd go short. And that is pretty much how this chart played out. You stay long before the orange ring, right? You make contact with the orange ring, you go long. When you cross it, you go short. We did get a drop, but I made it very clear price could push back up on the daily. I thought it would push up much sooner. It's taken a lot longer to play out. We almost made it up to the ring, but we got topped out at this level I told you guys to short, around 53K. So to me, that looks like a potential temporary top for some more downside. If we get above that point, I explained in that previous video, if this holds as support and we come back down and test it, we will get a springboard shot pushing us up much higher. Until that happens, the logical choice would be to short. Stay short from 53K. So that was my analysis. We'll see how it plays out. As far as Nvidia, I made this video again. This was down here. I said short Nvidia today. Correction starts on Monday. This was 13 days ago. So I put up this video. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. And I made it very clear. Every time we cross one of these red rings, we get on average 12 to 15% drop. So I said it's likely, didn't say it have to play out, but I said it's likely based on these two previous rings that when price crosses this ring that we would get a drop. So I decided to buy some puts. I'm glad I did because it played out. This is the published chart. I published this before that video, a little bit before, on February 8th. And I said, look, based on these rings, we drop. We only cross. You ride up the ring, you cross it, you drop. Well, we were right at this ring. So I said it was likely, and now I decided to short early. I shorted right when we made contact with the ring. The wiser play would be wait till after we cross the ring because we got a little bit of a pump. But if you'll notice, it did play out. So if I hit play, you see what happened. We did get a drop. We did push up a bit. We chopped a bit. We came down, all right? And then we got this crazy ass candle going up, all right? And this happened after hours. Now, when we dropped down to this point, I was in pretty substantial, I was in pretty good profit. And as we knew, earnings were coming out. Nvidia is, this AI craze, and AI is, these models are built on these data or servers that Nvidia has. So it just seemed likely. So I took about 50% profit. In hindsight, I wish I took 100% profit and bought some calls. But these puts, the short played out beautifully. And again, I took 50% profit. Again, I wish I took 100% profit. But it did play out. We crossed a ring. We got a drop. We did not drop 14%. As I said, it was possible. Where I shorted right before the ring. Get a little arrow here. Right before the ring. This is right where I shorted, which was still an 8% drop. I got out a little early where I took partial profit because earnings were coming up, and it was possible, hey, it was a 50-50 chance. We could drop, we could go up. But I already made enough profit where I wanted to take some of the profit off the table. Again, I'm glad I did because we pushed straight up. And you can see this huge ass gap we have right now. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to drop. Maybe we push up more. I have no idea. But it did play out. We crossed a ring. We dropped. Yes, we pushed back up. Guys, ask about risk management. Other people in Discord got it. Some other people said, oh, you were wrong about your drop. Bitcoin's up high. Nvidia's up higher than it was. Well, this guy knew what was up. He said, thanks for the Nvidia short. I took it last Monday, got out at 135% gain. Fantastic. Didn't want to hold through the earnings call tomorrow. Too scared it might pump. This guy knew what was up. He did his research. the ring played out. Nvidia dropped. If you took profit, you made money. If you stayed in, yeah, well, it was after hours, so you couldn't exit until price was already above. So again, it's risk management. But the chart played out. I made a case why it would drop. It did drop. Being greedy, that's on you. You take profit when you want to take profit. I'm not telling you how to play your trades. I'm just showing you what's in the charts, and you decide how you want to play it. This here, let's see. This right here was my most recent video, and again, I had a certain comment marked off, but there were certain comments in here where they were just bashing me about how I was wrong and about, you know, Nvidia pushed higher. Guys, it's about swing trading. It's about scalping, looking for probabilities and possibilities, and I'm just telling you. Again, I believe a temporary top is in based on these three lines, which I mentioned in that previous video. As far as Nvidia, I don't know what's going to happen from here. You know, I will update this chart and add some more fib channel lines for people just to scalp. But I can tell you this, that there's another red ring out here. So I know potentially we're either going to top out at one of these rings and when we cross it, get another drop. Or if we do something like this and come down, we know that this will be support, and when we cross it, we'll get a drop. So again, I know that something's going to happen in these rings because price is respecting these previous rings. It respected this one, respected this one, it respected this one, it will respect this one. That's a ways off, but we have something to pay attention to when we get near it. That is how it works. We also know that we got a major drop, 500 is very strong support. Nvidia is a very strong company and it's doing very well. I would not be opening any shorts right now. The only reason I decided to buy some puts was because we crossed this ring, and previously every time we cross the ring we get a drop. So again, I was correct about the puts and about price dropping. But again, it's up to you to decide when to take profit. I am not your financial advisor. I do not tell you when to get in and when to get out. I show you the charts, I make my case, you decide if you want to play it. But again, as far as Bitcoin, this was my most recent video. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. I just made it very clear that, and some people said, you know, I said short 53K. You know, if you watch the end of the video, I told you your point too long was down here. You know, we'd be in this pattern. I said when this becomes resistance, you would short, which again, in Discord, my most recent post is exactly that. Once this becomes resistance, add to your short, or if you're not in one, open a short. Obviously get above that as support, we're headed back up to 53K. But I do believe, based on this chart, that this right here, it just makes sense this would be a temporary top for at least a substantial correction to come down. Now, I did cover some lower targets in previous videos. I'm not going over that, but I just want you to understand why I went short, why I decided to tell people why I went short, and why I decided to open some puts for Nvidia, because the charts showed it was likely we were top for a drop. Now, Nvidia, hey, earnings came out, so if you were doing research, you would have probably taken profit or partial profit or long. I didn't want to risk it, so I took at least 50% profit, and I'm happy with my decision. But for Bitcoin, again, like I said, this is your strongest resistance. You have 2 points to short it, 52,976. We pushed up again, around 53K. So your resistance is now 53,226 up to, and I would just go a little higher. I'd have my stop above 54,000, or that'd be a great point to short if we got to wake up and came back down. But again, if we hold above this point, that will be bullish to send us much higher. In the meantime, the safer play, in my opinion, would be stay short from 53K. These are just swing trading targets. If you hit 49,692, we could just drop right through it. We could get a bounce up, guys. It's just swing trading. If you got a bounce from right here at 49,692, then you would potentially short right here around 51,741. If we drop below 49,692, I can tell you that this is going to be very strong support at 46,814, because we have multiple fib channel lines showing that strong support, and we have just a basic channel. This was our lowest wick here, lowest wick here. We got a high wick here. So this right here would be your support. There's a lot of influence for that target. Now, I think we could go much lower than that. I'm not going to recap this. Maybe in the next video I will discuss some lower targets. But right now we need to find out if we get a strong rejection from 53K, or we push back up, test at the end, and get above it. But to me, in my opinion, this is a temporary top. Nvidia, again, we'll have to see what happens with Nvidia. It's a very strong stock. A lot of people are trading it. It's worth what, over $1 trillion. Again, my analysis was just to show you a potential point for a short or for puts. It's up to you to decide when to, if you want to get in, and you have to decide when you want to get out. Again, if you hold something for too long, as I said, it's a gamble getting into a trade, but knowing when to get out of a trade is just as much of a gamble. But that's on you. I'm not your financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. I just make a case and you decide for yourself. I also mentioned the Dow, guys. We are pushing above a key resistance level. This right here is a trend line that is our current resistance. Guys, if we start seeing the Dow, come down and hold support at 39,000, remember the indices typically move together. If we hold support at 39K, and we continue higher, well then if the markets are going to start putting in new highs and going higher and higher, then it just makes sense that Bitcoin will probably do the same. And if that does play out, then we probably will push above 53K. That will hold its support. And again, watch that video. I made it very clear why if we get above this point, that is super bullish. But in the meantime, until that happens, 53K looks like a very, very good point to have shorted for some more downside. But pay attention to the indices, guys. Where the markets go, Bitcoin will follow. We're at a key resistance, right? We're at a trend line of resistance. And I've covered this previously. If you go back and you look, let me turn off this Bollinger Band here. Let's see here, right here. And I've showed you this before. Take note of this resistance level. We just kept testing it. Make this bigger and brighter so you can see it. We kept testing this resistance level. We hit it here, we hit it here, we hit it here, we hit it here, and then we started the downtrend. And I told you that was very possible. I've been talking about this for months. That it's very possible the same thing could play out. We could just keep testing this resistance, all right, until finally we start getting that downturn. So again, we're testing key resistance for the indices, or it could flip as support, which would be bullish. We're at key resistance for Bitcoin. And again, your current resistance right now to pay attention to be short from is 51,500. All right, but your strongest resistance levels are here, 53,200 up to 54,000. Now again, if we got a wick up to this point, can you ride back down? I'm still bearish. If we get some daily opens above this point, well, then it's time to flip bullish. But that's my analysis. Just wanted to explain why I went short 53K and why I decided to short Nvidia. And again, those did play out, but again, it's up to you to decide when to take profit. If you do want to sign up to get access to these charts, the website is opticalcrypto.com. Links pinned in the first comment description. If you do sign up, make sure you email me through the website for access to Discord. I have tutorials teaching my method of charting so you learn how to create these charts for yourself to find these flip channel lines and place these flip circles. And if you do want to pay with USDT, you can, but you email me through the website. If you want to learn how to trade, remember all these exchanges are pretty much identical. Once you learn how to trade on one, you can trade on them all. This is to teach you how to open a long, a short, set a stop loss, trigger orders, all that. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. But guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to take a little break for a while. I'm going to take a little mini vacation. We'll see how this plays out, but just remember this video that I've already linked, go back and watch it. I made it very clear why this is such an important resistance level. And yes, if we hold above it, we could see a lot more upside. But until that happens, it seems like a likely point to short. That's it, guys. I'm out.